to the fabulous world of intuitive eating. Oh, don't go away just because you think you know what intuitive eating is and it could never work for you. That's what I thought too. Stick with me. I'm going to show you how to do it and do it in a way that is so compatible. It is absolutely the most compatible thing with weight loss of anything you can do because it's reconnecting with you. And no, my firm belief is we were not meant to be carrying around a bunch of extra weight. And I remember back in the day, I was born a long time ago. It didn't used to be the way it is now. And I have a lot of theories, which I'm going to go over. But for you guys who know me already, hi, it's good to see you. Good, to see you, you know what I mean. And we're going through the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, it's okay. You get it if you want. You don't have to. I'm going to go through it. We're just starting this. And the first bit of this is, you may say, well, I want more strategies. Well, we'll get there. But first, you gotta commit to doing this because if you don't, you're gonna half-ass it, and you're not gonna be as firmly in embracing this because you're gonna go, well, I'm not really sure if this is for me and all that. So first, we're establishing that it is for you and that it works and why. So bear with me. And, if you've come to this when I've already done a whole bunch of this, well, then speed away. But I'm doing this once a week. I did miss last week because of Thanksgiving, and we'll talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. But again, going through the workbook on recognizing if this is for you. Yeah, it is. But just so you know, I already know. So I'm starting, we're on page, I think like 8. Yeah. So the whole point when I wrote this workbook, okay, is I made this journey myself. I went from a heavy-duty dieter, and you guys who know me, I'm sorry, I'm saying it again. And then I finally decided that dieting is terrible. It doesn't work. And I turned my following from my 4 dieting mothers to my one little grandmother who was always at her happy weight and happy and not stressed and never dieted and ate what she wanted. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to be in this weird diet world. So I journaled a lot when I was doing it. So a lot of the workbook comes from what I remember, because this was back in the year 2000. I wrote this a long time ago too. I think it was 2000 and, I don't know, 15 or something. But these are nuggets that helped me so much to get through this. And I know your diet brain. I know it because I had it for so long that even though I don't use it anymore, I remember it. And it was ugly. It was ugly, wretched diet brain that ruined a lot of I don't want to say ruined my life, but it wasn't as joyful as it could have been. So I'm glad I'm out of it. But anyway, so we talked last week about what happens when you lose weight quickly on a diet and why it's not because you're lazy or undisciplined or weak or any of that stuff that I know I used to feel like, what is the matter with me? There's nothing wrong with you. When you put yourself on a diet, any kind of food restriction, your body takes notice. And that's why fast weight loss is the worst, especially like keto. I always rag on keto, and I know there's some benefits to not eating carbs, maybe, I don't know. I eat carbs in my life around food and eating is fabulous. I've been at my happy weight for 24 years. I went through menopause, all that stuff. No problem. And I know when I say that, some people don't like that I say that. But it isn't a problem because when you're listening to your body, when you get older, you need a little bit less food. It's not a lot. But we are just, menopause, you gain weight. So we do, but you don't have to. You really don't. Yeah, I'm flabbier. Sure, I'm flabbier than when I was young, but that's okay. You're allowed to get old. But I didn't want to just all of a sudden randomly gain weight, and I didn't. And it's been years. So I'm just saying, if you are one of a lady, and you're worried about that, or you're young and you're thinking about that, of course, my message is for you guys over 18. I should say that more. I'm not a doctor. I'm just, I hope my biggest benefit to you is I can communicate, because that's what's missing, the communication of simple concepts that work. Okay, so we were talking again last week about why that rapid rebound weight happens. It's because your body freaks out. And when we think about dieting, we always think, like in my head when I was a dieter, I always thought about the diet. I always thought that's the thing I need to figure out. Okay, what diet? But then when I thought about it, and I again watched my mothers and contrasted that with my little grandmother. I always say little because she was 5 feet tall. And I would be like, wait a minute, why am I focusing on the diet? Because I can lose weight. We've all probably lost some weight. That's not it. It's keeping it off. But when you use a paradigm that absolutely makes that impossible, unless you just diet for the rest of your life, I know there may be some of you watching, well, I've lost weight on a diet and I kept it off. You're probably still dieting. And that's not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for most of you guys watching this. If you want to be that person, and I know some, not very many. I know a lady, and she's gone now. I talked about my mother-in-law. This is not my mother-in-law, but she would go, she was probably born in 1930, whatever, and she went to Weight Watchers meetings until the very end, and she was thin, but it was so, really, I mean, you don't, that's not good enough to have to go to a meeting, get up, and maybe it was her big part of her social life, I don't know, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. What you have to do is, instead of copying diet behavior and dieters or successful dieters, again, because they're still dieting, you mimic the habits and how naturally thin people eat. Don't let the word thin bug you. It's just a word, okay? It's thin. I'm just using that because we all know what it means. It means at your happy weight. Thin for you may be, too skinny for somebody else. I'm just saying, use your own word. Don't freak out because of the word thin. But anyway, so when you are in that mode and you're wanting to lose weight and you focus on the diet, because this is the diet. Remember, and this, we're going to get to this in a second. Remember the truth. Remember what really happens. Don't just blow over that. Oh yeah, well, no, I just need to get a good diet. No, you don't. Like every diet I ever went on, I lost some weight, because anytime you cut calories, if you're cutting out, like it used to be in the 80s, just eat carbs. I know. See, we have a wacky world where, these diets all circle around. Like then we did have a keto phase. It was Atkins or Scarsdale or low carbs. But it doesn't matter. If you're cutting your calories, your body is going to start consuming itself for food, right? But the thing is, when you do that and you don't think about the aftermath of the diet, okay, and how you're going to keep it off, you make silly decisions in the present about how to lose the weight. And you do it quickly, you do it on a gimmick, you do it on something that is not sustainable. So let's go back to the workbook here. I'm on page 8. Within this workbook, my whole goal here was to help make that transition to your healthy thin mentality. Again, don't let the word thin bug you. It's in this book. I wrote it a while ago, but it's a fine word. Just don't let it bug you. Don't let that mess the message for you. I say that because a lot of people on TikTok get really mad when I use that word, but we're just going to go on with it. I use the phrase healthy thin mentality to reflect this, to be in your ideal weight range. Okay, for you, what you feel good at. I know where I feel good. I don't know where you feel good, but you do, right? So find that. That's what you want to, that's what I mean by thin, okay? It's your healthy thin or happy weight, however you want to say it. And everyone, is going to be a little different here. So you be you. You be you. It's your choice. And to have, the second thing is to have a healthful relationship with food eating in your body. I even want to make that stronger. To have a joyful relationship with food eating in your body. Okay, you want joy. You don't need to have like a cruddy, sad relationship with food and eating where you're just constantly worried or constantly, again, I said this earlier, walking through a landmine field. Oh, what's going to mess me up today? Nothing's going to mess you up. You're an intuitive eater. You're in charge. There's nothing that's going to mess you up. You get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Year after year, you're stronger. Dieting, you get weaker. You know it, and you crack. And so third is to retrain your body to let your body lead you to the food you need. Let your body. Oh, your body can't do that? Well, I heartily disagree. Of course it can. Of course it can. We just ignore it. And I was there with you. I didn't even know when I was hungry anymore. I just ate from rules. And when I stopped, and you're like, you get that, you start getting it back. That feeling of, wow, I kind of feel like I'm a kid again. Like when I was a kid, I remember sitting around the table at lunch with my friends. What do you like? What do you like? And I didn't even know what I liked anymore, really. And I know that's true for a lot of you guys too. Now I'm going to go back on this. Now I want to say to you, like I said a minute ago, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a scientist. But why do I know what I'm talking about? Okay, I saw firsthand, I'm on page 9 now, as a manager at Nutrisystem when I was 22 years old. Now, who would put someone with no experience, 22 years old, as a manager for weight loss? I don't know, but they gave the job to me. And I was in grad school at the time, and I needed that shift. It was 2 shifts. It was a really weird schedule, like 9 to 1 and 4 to 7, which was really awful. But anyway, I got the job. And so I saw firsthand how amazingly strong people did exactly what we said and then gained it all back and came in feeling so shameful. And I want you to feel this because I remember that, and that was 22. It took me till 40 to give up dieting, even seeing this. But I'm just trying to plant these seeds, and you remember, how would that feel? It's like some like really wonderful people, like smart, strong, really successful, but they couldn't do this. It's because the paradigm doesn't work. It's not because they're broken. It's because the paradigm stinks. That's what it is. So they did not. Okay, so and I remember getting like a sinking pit in my stomach because after about a year, when I started seeing this a lot, that's when I quit because I was like, I can't do this. Because my manager said to me when that happened, I said, oh, I have an appointment. This lady's coming back. Remember her? And she just sell her another program. And I was like, wow, that's really mean. Like, oh, it's just an opportunity to make more money. Well, it is. The diet industry is perfect because, I mean, as a business model, because the consumer comes to you like a little groveling child. What should I eat? What should I eat? Eat this, eat this. Oh, I did. Oh, look, I lost all this weight. Oh, God, I gained it all back. Oh, bad girl. Okay, do this again. No, it was awful. Honestly, a really quick story. I remember one time some food came in mismarked price. Why? It was these stupid Melba Toast crackers. And they came in like, this was a long time, 1982. So, like they were supposed to be $1.95 and they came in marked $3.95. And my manager was just let it go. Just tell them they're, really good. Like, for your weight loss. I'm like, okay, yeah, this haunts me that I supported that. But I did. I mean, I did for a year and then I left, which I was glad. Okay, I also was a fitness instructor for 20 years. It says 15 in the book, but I did it some more, so about 20. And I worked as a personal trainer. I didn't really like that. I just helped people a little bit. And I saw dieting rob people of a normal relationship with food and their bodies and make them feel insecure and defeated. And it did the same thing to me, okay? And I saw how both a diet mentality and an exercise mentality interfered with permanent weight loss. And they're related. They're interrelated. We're going to talk about exercise. There's a whole chapter on exercise. I got a lot to say about that because an exercise mentality messes people up so bad. And again, I saw this. I experienced it. I got out of it. I'm going to show you how. I dieted for 25 years, ages 14, 15 to 40. In the year 2000, that's when I said I can't do it anymore. And if you're out there and you, well, how much weight did you lose? I was always gaining and losing 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds in my life. That's not counting being pregnant and all that. But I lost that weight. Like my first time I went on a diet, lost it, gained it back. So I'm going to tell you, if you have more weight to lose than that, please know it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's the same focus you got to get. I right here, I lost over 100 pounds, just not all at once. I think that's really conservative. I think I probably lost more like 170 or something because I would just do this every year. And I dieted for 25 years. So, I mean, anyway, I didn't want to seem like I was exaggerating, but I just lost the same weight over and over and over and gradually going up and not quite getting it all back off. And then, so I experienced these debilitating diet mentality thoughts, these feelings, and the horror of you walk into a party and like last time you were there, you were thin, you felt so good, and then you're like, oh God, my jeans are so tight, I'm just leaving my coat on. Yeah, and I know you may say, okay, well, you were only 15 pounds or whatever weight. Well, it was a lot to me, and we're all different, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't, for the purposes of you learning from me, it doesn't matter. However much weight you need to lose, and again, I'm not a doctor. Make sure your doctor is okay with everything you're doing, but no matter what, it's the same things in your head. And my message is for dieters, right? So if you've never dieted, I hope I can help you. But my message is for my dieting friends who I love so much because dieters are optimistic and this will be it. And I love that attitude. I love optimism. So yeah, but if you've just always been like really heavy, I want to help you so much and I hope I can. But I'm just saying this is geared to dieters. In tandem with that learning, me from being in a Nutrisystem and physically, going through these diet mentality things and also being a fitness instructor, I finally understood that ultimately diets are fattening. Finally, I use this insight to free myself from the tyranny of dieting. I'm here to do the same for you. And again, it's not me leading you to my healthy thin mentality or happy weight mentality. It's me leading you to yours, as my little grandmother did for me. I mean, I was so lucky there was someone in my life. I said, where is a woman who's eating normally? And I went, she's right there, isn't she? She's right there. And it helped me overcome all the bad messaging, unintendedly bad. I mean, my foremothers, none of them were trying to hurt me. They were stuck. And I wished none of them got out. None of them got out. But I did. And I'm sorry they didn't. And I'm sorry they didn't. But I want you to. And so when you're going through this week, and since we just had Thanksgiving, and you have that memory big in your head, remember what it felt like sitting there at Thanksgiving being over full, which you probably were. Was I? Mm-mm. You know why? Oh, that's so hard. You didn't overeat it, not even on Thanksgiving? No. You know why? It's there's no joy in it. When you become an intuitive eater, there is zero joy in stuffing down food without hunger. It's like, why? It's like, I'm not going to scratch my arm. I always use this example. It's not itchy. I'm not scratching it. Oh, but it would still feel good. Not really. I'm not hungry, so I'm not eating. Well, it would still feel good. Well, not really. When you get used to how great it is to eat with hunger, you're not going to go back. You won't. And I know you don't believe me. So that's why I'm going to keep talking, because if you just keep listening, listen to these videos over and over. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I need to get this message out there, and my voice is little, and I know it, and I've been trying to do this for a long time, but whatever. I'm not going to give up, because even if one person gets one little breakthrough today with this video, then you know what? I mean, it's such a miserable way to live as a dieter. It's worth it to me. So, but if you can subscribe or like or comment, and if I don't answer all the comments, I'm sorry, but I'm reading them, and just stick with me, and I'll get you through this. If you want some support in the meantime, find me on TikTok. Particularly, that's where I generally put the first video out, and our website, and there's blogs all over the place there. And I mean, they're old because now I do more video, but there's great nuggets in there. And if you want to get the workbook, get it, or don't. It's fine. But I want to help you. So, okay, subscribe so you'll hear this. You'll know when this message comes up again next week. Have a great week. Take it one day at a time. Just start asking yourself. Start noticing. Just start, as we're going through here and the why, before we get to the how, start noticing your hunger, your lack of hunger, the fact that you don't even know if you're hungry. Just start paying a little bit of attention. Notice how full food tastes when you first start eating, and then after 10 bites, notice the difference. You're going to get this, and you're going to be so happy. Thanks for being here, and I will be back next week with another session of magical intuitive eating.